Iron Dinos, here we go again. Oh no, it's another podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Iron Dinos podcast. I'm Shaun and I'm here with Jason.
Hello.
I'm here with Adam.
Yo.
And as always, we're going to talk about last month's Games of Gold, the upcoming month's Games of Gold, other games we've been playing, movies, TVs, books, whatever else comes to mind. And, it should be a rollicking good time. So without any further ado, Jason, what are the upcoming month's Games with Gold?
The games with gold for March 2022 are The Flame in the Flood, Street Power Soccer, Sacred 2, Fallen Angel, and SpongeBob's True or Square.
Yay!
Let's start with The Flame in the Flood. It's a procedurally generated wilderness survival game. You can forage, you can craft, you can evade predators. I was going to say it had a beautiful art style, and then I saw the kids' faces and I went, ah! They're quite scary looking. I don't usually like survival games unless I'm really invested in the story or the characters or stuff. So there's potential looking at the graphics. I quite like the graphics, but I don't know. It does include a director's commentary, and I do like those. Weirdly enough, for games, I do like a commentary on a game sometimes. Some of them are really good, so I'll be looking out for that bit, if nothing else.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've only ever played through one game with commentary, and that was Portal 2. But largely because I enjoyed Portal 2 so much, I just immediately restarted and played through it again. But it was really fun having commentary. I'm pretty sure I might have done the Deus Ex Human Revolution one as well. I think there's a director's commentary on that as well, but I might be making that up. But I definitely did the Portal 2 one. And all this is to say that I haven't played this game before, but it was on Game Pass for a long time. I had it downloaded, I kept looking at it, and I never played it because, as you say, games where the purpose is survival, it's not a primary mechanic that I enjoy as much as other things. I liked, I prefer it kind of the other way around. So Fallout New Vegas had loose survival elements, so you could crank that up, but the main thing is you're doing the Fallout-y stuff. Like, I could play something like that, but something that's primary is the survive mechanics. I think it's going to be a bit much for me, but like I said, I downloaded it for a reason. I like the look of it for a reason, so I will definitely give this one a fair shot. Oh, I do like Don't Starve. I've played quite a lot of that, but that's mostly because I freaking love the art style in that thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a cartoon. I think it's absolutely stunning. But we're getting off topic. The game we're talking about, Flame in the Water or something, Smoke on the Water. I look forward to giving it a go. Adam, dig up out of this pit.
I will do. I'll try. I love a good survival crafting game, as you well know. And
have you heard of Minecraft?
Pretty good.
Apparently, that's quite good.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, you might get on
give
with
that a go. I've had a look at the trailer. The menus seem quite nice to handle and to craft items. Looks like there's a good healthy amount of enemies and mobs to survive. I say mobs like I'm playing Minecraft, funny enough. But it looks pretty good. I think I'll probably enjoy this one. But if you are interested in it, it is available from March 1st to March 31st. It was first released 24th of February 2016. The devs are the Molasses Flood, and published also by the Molasses Flood, but also Curve Games.
Is it Curve Digital?
Yeah. No, Curve Games.
Huh. It's Curve Digital.
I know, I did recognise the name, but I looked at it.
Yeah, no, I've got on Microsoft it says Curve Digital. No, it's just because I know that name. They're a publisher I actually quite like. Them and Devolver Digital normally they release more interesting things. So if it's by them, it's more worth a look than certain other publishers.
Curve
That's
Analog,
nice.
not as good. Street power soccer. It's football. It's in the street. It's in the playground. It's trick shots. There's nutmegs. There's goal. And I feel that Shaun was about to interrupt me then, so I am now panicking what to say next. I've got no complaints about the visuals of this game. I don't mind an arcade sports game if it plays well. But looking at the headlines, I don't think it does. I've just seen some thumbnails, and they don't seem to give a very highly rated impression of this game. So I'm going to go in with low expectations, and maybe be surprised. That's what I'm thinking. How's your football things, Adam? Oh, sorry.
My thought on looking at the trailer was a word I don't think I've used since the 90s. It's certainly not a word I use often, but
Rad?
it encapsulates the word naff to me. This just looked naff. I watched the trailer. I didn't like the... I didn't particularly like the art direction. I thought it looked... just meh. But I thought it looked slow. And I already find football boring, so a football game that's really slow, no, thank you. But, you know, to be fair, trying to sell me on a football game is always going to be a very, very difficult challenge. But I will play it as we do on this channel, and I will try and give it a fair shot. It may surprise me. I kind of like the bit where he kicks a ball into like a little cement mixer thing. So if there's kind of little silly things like that, I could probably quite dig that. If it's just slow football, then I may just jump out the window. I don't know. Adam?
Oh dear.
I actually really like football. I played a lot of football, but traditionally I actually don't like football games. I don't know what it is. I've never really got on with them. But this looks kind of like a slightly different twist on it. It looks a lot more trick based. So yeah, I'm going in it with an open mind. The art style looks intriguing to me. Open mind I think it is for this one. But it is available from March 16th to April 15th. First released on 25th of August 2020. The devs are SFL Interactive, published by Maximum Games.
Sacred 2, Fallen Angel. Wait, it's an open world. It's action RPG. It's got single player, multiplayer. You can play good or evil, or both if you want to switch up. And there's seven character classes, and hopefully a good story. And I like that the camera gets in there, but also goes above, because I don't always like it when it's hovering quite high above. That puts me off with some games, but I've seen it swooping up and down a bit. I think this is the type of game that's going to take a lot of time for me to play, and that's going to be its biggest hurdle for me to get over, because I don't think I'll put the time in. But it could be good. It looks all right.
God, I swear to God, I own this. Like, I think this is one of those games that there's a billion copies out, and you always see it in CX and places like that. So I might already own this.
Do you own Sacred
right.
One?
No.
Okay.
It looks alright. Not something I'd immediately gravitate towards, but I'm certainly willing to give it a shot. It's free. How can it hurt? That's all I have to say on that one, to be honest. It looks kind of fun. It looks kind of cool.
Out of all the games on the list, the front cover of this one grabbed me the most. So if that's a nod to its art style, I guess so. I quite enjoy this type of game. Yeah, and again, I think an open mind with this one, as with the last one. But this one is available from March 1st to March 15th. It was first released 2nd of October 2008. The devs are Ascaron and also Studio 2 Software GmbH, published by CDV Software Entertainment.
And the last game is SpongeBob's Truth or Square. It's a 3D platformer with SpongeBob SquarePants, and he replays his happiest memories to recover the lost Krabby Patty formula. I enjoy some SpongeBob. I used to like the cartoon, and I like the sense of humour, and if it plays with that sense of humour and it's a decent platformer, with some charm, then awesome. I don't know. It could be awful. If it could just be a cheap cash-in on a popular character. But we'll find out, hopefully next month. Oh, hang on. I thought of a joke. They might be trying to wring out something from this popular character. There you go. There's a sponge-based joke. Sponge-based. True or square? Should you do that again? Someone speak.
I was waiting for you to throw it over to me. I was going to do a thing.
I threw it over to Adam last time and you still took it. Okay, anyway, Shaun.
Just because it's always you, then me, then Adam on this bit. Because Adam does the fact at the end.
I always thought you were last. Sorry. I like to go in my initials of my name, Jas. I like to spell my own name. We need more people so we can complete that. Anyway, there's a game we're talking about, which is SpongeBob's Truth or Square. I've given my opinion. I'm really wondering, Shaun, what do you think?
Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants, absorbent and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob SquarePants, if political nonsense be something you wish. SpongeBob SquarePants, then drop on the deck and glub like a fish. SpongeBob SquarePants. I like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Leave a comment if you think that was worth it.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough.
I can't wait for your review next month, all in sea shanty style.
Yeah. Right, let me just wring out my ears for a second. So, yeah, the colours on this one look fantastic. Nice and bright, nice and cartoony. Right up my alley. Looks like quite a decently open world. Yeah, this looks quite enjoyable. Lots of collectibles by the look of it as well. But this one is available from March 16th to March 31st. First release 26th of October 2009. Published by THQ. Devs are Heavy Iron Studios and Ultron, and also Barking Lizards Technology. Yeah.
Where do they get these names? Yeah, molasses
I wish they were a lot
earlier.
more simple, because it's a bloody tongue twister for me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's always a good sign when you've got like 3 different studios making one game. It's funny, actually, because I didn't realise how prevalent that was in the industry, because quite often they just don't mention it, but there is quite a lot of stuff like that, and like, even down to... It is a thing I learned after the fact on Human Revolution, because, like, the boss battles seem like you have to kill in the boss battles, and the rest of the game is not. And I found out later that they just got another studio to do just the boss battles, which is really weird. Yeah, but, like... And then there's the thing with Mass Effect Andromeda, where all of the weird-looking cutscenes were farmed out to different studios and stuff like that. So yeah, it happens more than you think, but I still don't think it's a great sign of quality where literally listed as making the game is 3 separate companies. But I had... God, I've gone back on my thing now, but I have actually heard of this game. I think they go back into actual episodes. So, like, the
cool.
memory thing is popping into episodes from the show, but they go in new and wacky directions just to let you play it.
It's a clip show.
Ah, nice.
It's a clip show in video game form.
Nice.
Oh, before I forget, you can also get 4,000 gamer score. There you go.
1,000 apiece.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as much as usual, is it? I'm a bit let down with that. I got
about
more than that this
standard, isn't it?
morning. Probably. It used to be 1,000 a game, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway,
But
that was the
that's
game
the
for gold.
upcoming... What?
I was going to do that as well.
Well, you do that then. You do it.
I don't want
We're
to
so
now.
professional.
I've ruined it. I'll do it. You're editing it. You can put what you want together. It's good.
Okay.
That was the Games of Gold for March 2022. I have no more to say.
I'd have done that better. Right. Anyway.
You think I'm planning?
That's the Games of Gold coming up for March, but what about the Games of Gold for February? We're going to go in reverse order just to keep it fresh. So we're going to start with Band of Bugs. This was I kept calling it a real-time strategy. It's not a real-time strategy game. It's just a strategy game. But yeah, it's you've got X amount of things you can do within a particular turn.
It's turn-based.
So you move, so you move your bug around, you batter the other bugs, and I found this very slow. I thought it upscaled really nice, but I will probably never think of this game again. Adam, what do you think?
If you've watched the video that we made on this, then you'll probably know. But I actually really like the colours and the artwork to this one. It's quite cartoony. I described it as like a weird sort of chess game, and I kind of stick by that. I did play a bit more after our video, and you do get a few more bugs and a few more characters that can do a few more things the further you go into the story mode side of things. So yeah, there's a little bit more there than I first thought, but it is very slow. I'm on board with Shaun here. Very, very slow. Not my type of thing at all. Found myself bored very quickly. So yeah, unfortunately, it's a thumbs down from me. Jason.
If you think it's slow, play it quicker. It's turn-based. Take your turn, move on, go.
Yeah, you've then got to wait for them to have a go.
They're quite good. I was playing it this morning. They like move in 3 pieces at once in some bits. Scary. I thought, hang on, that's cheating, surely. Anyway, yeah, I think it's a bit boring, a bit slow, but it's it's cartoony. It reminds me of the sort of game I might have played when I was about, I'm going to say 8 for no particular reason. I don't know why. It's all right. It's just like chess, as you say. You move a piece and it twats him on the head. I don't know why there's avatars in it. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Is it right? Yeah. Why do I need a mini-me there?
That's the first time I'd used my avatar in a long time, and I had to update his hair and beard. But it was nice seeing him again.
Mine was still looking fresh. It's good. It was all right. It did what it was going to do, but as you say, it's not particularly engaging. I probably won't go back. I played a few levels. I did more than a tutorial, which is a good thing for me. I kept going a few more things. I had a whole band of bugs before I gave up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ariel _ Knights Never Yield. This was a auto runner where you have to press one of 4 buttons to jump, slide, do a different jump, or run at a quicker pace in order to avoid obstacles and some nonsense about clones. I kept meaning to go back to this, and I will go back to this at some point, but I got sucked into something else. So I will pass over to Adam, who I was with when he hit a major achievement with the game. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Yeah, I managed to complete this on the first day that I played it. Pretty much. I played it. I made the video. I then recorded with Shaun, and then afterwards I finished it. I absolutely loved it. It was really good. Loved the art style. Loved the whole how fast paced it is. The difficulty level really ramps up by the end level, and I missed 2 key things in the whole of that when I made the video and stuff. And one of the things is Shaun asked me a very good question. On one bit, my character had 3 swords behind me, and he asks, what the 3 swords about? During the gameplay, I had no idea. I thought I was just still the same character, just in a different jacket. But no, apparently I'm an enemy clone trying to capture the clone that's trying to escape. So that's why you rerun through part of the level on level 4. So you actually play as 2 different characters that meet at the end. I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, that's why you got 3 different swords behind you. It's a bit of a visual, and I was really dumb and didn't notice it. And there's another little thing. In the top right-hand corner, if you're struggling to figure out what jump is coming next, there are 3 slashes that happen down in the top right-hand of the screen in different colours before the jump happens. And to give you a bit of an indicator as to what's coming. And I did not notice that. And I spent so long trying to remember the sequence to this certain jump when, like, because one of the levels there's this electrical barriers that come at you really quick, and I died so many times on that, and I kept jumping and wrong jumps and everything. I eventually remembered the sequence and got through it. But if I just looked in the top right hand corner to see these 3 stripes coming down the top right hand side of the screen, I'd have passed it, no problem. The end level is extremely difficult. It only gives you very few save points, and you play as the clone trying to escape, and then it will flick across to the enemy clone running the opposite direction, so that will throw you, and then you got to clear his bit before it switch back to your other character before you even get to a save point. And you mess up and you go straight back to the beginning. Really difficult, but loads and loads of fun. I can't recommend this enough. Sorry I went on a bit there. Jason.
Can I ask, at what point did you realise you got the warning slashes in the corner? Was that after you completed the whole game? Or
after I completed the whole game and edited the video.
Oh my god. Right, yeah. Well, because I know... So you said you're playing on hard mode the whole game. That's pretty good. Because there are 3 difficulty levels, and I have played them all. It's... Anyway, point being is, I also wasn't following the plot with the clone at the end with the swords. I didn't realise that was a different clone until it makes it quite obvious near the end that it's a different one.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I don't know what plot there was, really. It's just run from left to right for most of the game, isn't it? And then do it again with another one who's a bit better. I went from starting this game on the default level, which started with, I'm crap at this, I don't know what I'm doing, then very quickly mastered it because I noticed the things in the corner. Then it became very boring because it was just essentially a quick time event. I'm not even watching what the character's doing. I'm just watching the corner of the screen and going red, blue, yellow, green.
Yeah.
It's not green, whatever. And I was just completing it to complete it, and I did complete it same as you, same day I played it. It's not that many levels really, and some of them are very samey. And I quite like the art style a bit, but there wasn't much variety in it really. There's a few novel bits. And there's some bits towards the end where it changes up your orientation, so you're not necessarily going left to right, a couple of different ways. And that kind of proved to me why I didn't like a certain aspect. This is a long-winded story, but I'm getting there. Which is that because when you're now running in a different direction, be it up, down, from right to left or whatever, the buttons are still oriented the same way they were if you were going left to right.
Yeah.
And my instinct is to base them on where the character's facing and running and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to jump up, but if I'm running up a vertical thing, I'm thinking up should now be left and that sort of thing. It doesn't do that. It keeps them exactly as they are, and that just enforced the fact that you don't need to watch the game. You just got to watch the prompts in the corner of the screen, and that's all you need to do. In fact, it's more difficult to play if you're watching your character. Having said that was my opinion yesterday. I
Jason
liked
ignored
it,
the game and just played Simon Says.
I got through those last couple of levels just by kind of just forgetting, don't focus on the character. And generally speaking, I found the game on the default level incredibly easy. Once you've mastered, press the prompt, you're done. You haven't got to do much after that. This is on the default level, obviously. It's only when they quickly sometimes they quickly slot in a quick cutscene or something between 2 jumps, and then when it cuts back to you just before another jump, that's when I get caught out a few times. So I pretty much did quite most of the levels without dying. After maybe,
nice.
And it's quite good, and you get rewarded for that, and you also get achievements for not skipping cutscenes. It's quite good. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll bring this to an end. What was I going to say? I played it again this morning on the like medium difficult. It starts, so its default is normal, and then you've got hard, and then you've got insane.
Yeah.
They're not particularly much harder, but they do increase it, and I enjoyed it much more once, because I think you start off and you want the challenge, and then once you've mastered it, there's no more challenge. It's the same thing over and over again. Jump, jump, jump. Once I upped the challenge a bit, I didn't notice any difference at all in how it felt to me, but I think I enjoyed it more because probably it was more challenging. I just didn't notice it, and it felt more deserving when you got quite a lot in a row.
Yeah.
And then after I'd finished the game again, I didn't finish the game in Insane, but I'd played the first sort of 4 levels or something. And then there's another stage where you can do, is it like just infinite running, whatever it's called? Because I wanted to get the achievements. I wanted to get the
You
achievements
run
on
around
that.
the hall.
And I got 2 of the achievements that I needed for that, which was to complete every obstacle and to do something else or whatever.
It is the
and
final achievement to literally play infinitely and thus impossible to achieve.
the final achievement that I need one more achievement for this game, and it is to complete the mix song in the infinite run. And I got to like level 40 or something and then died.
Oh, wow.
And that was, I don't know how long that was, but it was probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. It wasn't. It feels like a long time because you just jump, 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 and you keep picking up these pickups, which then blank out bit the screen, so you can't see what's going on. And it's quite scary. So, so you got to avoid those. Anyway, the point being, I played that and I looked up how long this mix song is, and it is over half an hour. I know, you bugger. It's like level 150 or something.
Wow.
Okay, I'm probably not going to do that this morning. So, my short version of all that is, it's a very simple quick time event, but if it's still challenging, it's fun. I think it's only when you get you got to get that right balance of, is it challenging that it's hard, but you're able to do it, and you feel like a god once you've done it. And when I was doing like multiple jumps in a row, which are quite close together and difficult, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the music and the graphics pretty good. Overall, a thumbs up. That was long, wasn't it?
Cool, that was a whole journey. I thought you were at one point. I thought you were going to be really down on this game. I thought you was setting yourself up for what you do, and then it was like, oh no, but I completed it.
I thought I was going to
Came
come
out
across
the
too
other side. It's
negative
a
this
roller
morning.
coaster of a
I
review.
know. Think it's the journey I take you on with these, from left to right,
And sometimes the other way.
and sometimes the other
Yeah,
way.
oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want a really big challenge, just ignore the strikes in the top right-hand corner, like I did.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
no,
it is. If you-
just close your eyes. Just close your eyes and play it.
That is how the harder difficulties work. They take away. Actually, I don't know if they completely take them away, but they take down how early they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the speed. I think they put less gap between the jumps or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's not a drastic difference between all the levels that I noticed. I think it's best to start on the normal one and then just work your way up.
Yeah.
Good game. I forgot what else we played. What else did we play?
I'm getting round to it if you shut up.
No,
Jesus.
never. I will never yield. Oh, sorry. I want to say one other thing about Never Yield.
Fuck me.
I just
Go on.
remembered. I did not like the menus. I didn't find them. I mean, they make sense when I sort of reviewed how it's supposed to work. I don't think they visually worked for me. Yet I know it does make sense, and I understand if you guys had no issue at all with them. But the change in the costume and the choosing your level and stuff, I kept accidentally backing out, and because you have to highlight the arrow and then move to left or right by pressing A. I would like to just move the arrow by going left or right. That would have been easier for me. I think that could be better.
I do think the menus could have been better. I backed out a couple of times by accident, and then you got to go through the whole loading again when you go back in, and then that's quite a long time. It's like, why is this such a long time? I've literally just loaded this.
Yeah, I did accidentally click yield a few times because you're already kind of force of habit is you're going to hold right, even though you know you don't really have to. So I'm like doing that, and then it just flips straight over to yield. I was like, no, I've got to load the whole fucking thing again.
Yeah,
Considering
exactly.
how visually simple it all is,
Yeah,
it does have quite a lot of loading. But these are
Yeah.
nitpicks on an otherwise
Oh yeah.
fun game.
Great game. Yeah.
You sure you don't have anything else, Jason?
I was just suppressing a burp there. I didn't want. I hope you don't keep that in. I was trying to work out what game you're going to go for next. I don't know which one you're going to go for.
I think I do.
Let me spin the wheel. Ah! Water! It's hydrophobia! I like this. That was really fun. I've not finished it yet. When we get into the gaming section, we'll find out what dragged my attention away. But yeah, third person kind of action puzzler, a little bit of puzzles, set in a near future, which is obviously a capitalist hellscape, which is the way all good sci-fi, futuristic sci-fi should be. Water everywhere. And it's trying to kill you. Adam, I know you've got a lot to say about this one, but you did most of it in the video. But kindly recap us your thoughts on this very, very entertaining game with with really bad voice acting.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's Scottish.
I really love this one. This was my pick of the bunch. Actually, I really liked how the controls felt. Really love the storyline. The acting is bad to the point of comical, and so that's quite fun to listen to every single time. I quite like the graphics. The whole water movement thing I think is great. Even if there's like that, as Shaun described in the video, you get that initial. How did you describe it? It was like a line, did you, between the wave coming in? But
Yeah.
but
Basically, you can see what is the. Basically, there will be a mound, and the water texture will be over the top of it. But I think it's, for the most part, they get around that very well. It's only occasionally that it's very obvious that's what's happening.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that aside, I think they've actually got it.
It's like a 10-year-old game.
Really, really well. Yeah, I mean, I know games now that have got the water mechanics completely wrong, and I think they've done a superb job on this.
I think for as old as it was, I still think it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know, as it was a budget title. I'm sorry, I'm taking up your turn here. I'm just thinking it was a budget title when it was released. So the fact that it still looks fine is a testament to the good job they did. Sorry, Adam, you continue, mate.
Exactly. That's cool.
Jason, do you want to jump in about Never You again, or
Saving it.
I'll get through this at some point.
Adam's got a whole video about this if you want to see his opinion. It's fine.
So, I really liked the enemies that come at you, and the way that worked, especially in the underwater parts as well. That was, I found, quite difficult. But the variety of the gun, I say the variety of the gun, you get one gun, but you get a variety of bullets. And they're quite fun to go through and see all the different bullets and mechanics of those. I got so far into the story and really into the story that by the time I got to the end, I really wanted to play like the next episode, only to find out that they didn't make episode 2 and 3. So I got very disappointed at the end.
Aww.
But I really want someone to pick this up because I think it's got great potential. I think someone could do like wonders with this. Really good game. Really enjoyed it. Definitely pick it up. Jason.
Okay, I feel like I'm going to be a bit of a negative Nancy now.
oh,
I think it holds up quite well. I think the controls are good. I think the visuals are fine. I like generally how it played. It reminded me a lot of some of the Tomb Raider levels from various generations of Tomb Raider actually. But it's not a puzzle game. I don't think. I think there's hardly any. It's got the same puzzle over and over again. And if it was in a Tomb Raider game,
fuck
this
me
would have
then.
been.
All right, sorry.
This would have
Having an
been
opinion.
one level.
Jesus.
No, I'm not having to go at you. I'm just. But if it was in I'm not comparing it to Tomb Raider. It's a different game. But if it was in Tomb Raider, this would have been one water level where they run about a ship, and it would have been 10 minutes, and then you go on to some pyramids or something else and get a bit of variety. I felt this was 80% exactly the same gameplay over and over and over again. Go down the corridor. You may or may not get an enemy. You don't really get many until near the end. You can complete it with pretty much the first weapon you get, or the first bullet you get, all the way through. You don't need to use the other ones for anything. I was changing the weapons just for some variety. I did get quite excited we're going to get near enough the end when you start getting lots of enemies coming at you from different areas, and you kind of have to be a bit more strategic about how you go around it and take them out in different ways. That was fun. That reminded me a lot of, I think I was talking about Manhunt last week, and also the Arkham Asylum games a bit. It's a bit more. I was being a bit more stealthy at that point. I don't know if you need to be. You do you should probably play with that first weapon still. But yeah, you can take everyone out with that first weapon. It's probably more convenient to do it that way than any other thing, unless you want to blow a wall up or something. What else did I want to say? There's nothing particularly bad about it. I just found it very samey. And I did complete it, but that's because I knew it was a short game. I think if someone had told me there's another 10 hours, I probably wouldn't have bothered finishing it. Unless someone said it changes up and you get to another level and it all gets a bit more interesting and other things happen. But I didn't get that invested in the story. I think that's what would have brought me into it. If I do think there's a good story and a lot of world building going on, and obviously there's lots of collectibles that can add to that. So maybe it is there and I just wasn't into it. But I think it plays decent and a good game. For some reason, it didn't grab me. So that's my take on it this month. Not bad. Don't kill me.
Fair enough. And finally, we have.
I don't mean to be a damp squib about this. Or rain on your parade doesn't work, does it? I'll just wave. Oh dear. Sorry.
And
Let
finally,
me see a wet blanket. Oh, that could have done.
This podcast is all washed up. Finally, we have Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. And I will be honest, I didn't play it yet. I didn't get round to it. I know it's what we do for the podcast and everything, but you've got two other opinions of it. Jason's probably going to talk. Jason's really animated this month. I'm loving it. Sorry, I didn't get around to it. It's not the kind of thing that really appeals to me. I obviously did the video with Adam, and that wasn't enough to draw me in. But I don't think it looked bad. So if I get some time over the coming month, I'll maybe I'll pop it in for I'll just add it on to the end, a part of next month's Dinocast. But Adam, I know you played a lot more of this. Please take it away.
This is a point-click adventure murder mystery. I like a point-click adventure. I quite like these stories within them. This doesn't let me down. I quite like the story. I quite like the level of puzzle working out. Sometimes in these games they can make them almost ridiculously hard, but they didn't do that for this one. I found them pleasantly challenging without being impossible, so that was quite good. I also liked, so in other games of this genre, you sort of click into a room and it will have a fixed position within that room, so then you've just got to look around and click the walls. With this, it wasn't like that. You could actually click anywhere on the floor and your character will walk there. So I quite like that. It drew me into the game a little bit more. I quite liked the art style. The acting I thought was decent. So this was a really good point-click adventure. And I shall be playing more. I've got probably about halfway, I would have said. And yeah, I'll probably be completing this. So, yeah. Jason.
I got really into this. I had a lot of fun. I completed it. I started again to get the damn missable achievement you can't get if you don't do it all the way through.
I hate that.
It's again. So of all the games this month, the bug one is the only one I haven't completed. So this is a good month for me.
Wow.
If probably had a few more days, I'd have done it just to prove that point I could do it, but it didn't happen.
Instead of spite.
Damn bugs. Yes, so it's obviously a point-and-click adventure. It has, as you say, some variety to the puzzles. Some are quite obvious. Some are really, well, some are quite challenging. Some are not really that obvious straight away. But I really liked it. I went into it quite, this is an average point-and-click game. And as it played on, I quite liked the characters and the humour and the in-jokes. And it's quite a relaxed attitude, and it doesn't take itself seriously at all. And there's lots of nods to the past of games, like a character. I haven't played any of the previous games, but it kind of makes it clear that some of the characters that pop up are old characters from other games, and they're like jokes about things that happened in old games. And I think I read that this was mostly a Kickstarter game made kind of in the style of the first two games, and they actually went a bit more 3D in the later games, but this is like a harking back to the original style, so it's more like a fan. I don't know. Please let me know in the comments if it's different. But as far as I get it, it's made kind of for the fans, or by the fans if it's a Kickstarter thing, probably. And at times it was kind of playing with me and inviting me into its world, and it knows it's a game, and there's lots of, as I say, the goat from last month I kept talking about, there's various references to that puzzle keep coming up, and lots of nods to the past. Also, the story's generally quite interesting. It's I think they're all religious based mysteries, and this is another one of those, bit like Da Vinci Code, which I've not actually seen or know, but I'm going to say it's like that. Probably not the greatest reference to this game, but it's, yeah. So it has a sort of mystical religious element to it. It's a bit, they're finding. Well, I'm not going to go too much into the plot. It's a good plot. I like the plot. You travel to various different locations. You uncover things. Like Adam says, you can wander around a bit and look at things. There's more information there than you necessarily need to know about things. If you just want to go very quickly through it, you probably can go quicker than I did. There's a few puzzles which I got super stuck on and didn't know what to do next, and nearly every time it's a case of I just hadn't seen the one thing that I needed to click on. There's one really, really easy one. I'm not going to say where it is or what it is, but I gave up and went and had some dinner or something, and then came back the next day, and all I had to do was click this one thing on the floor, and then, I know exactly what I'm doing. But I couldn't see it.
I think I know what puzzle that is as well.
I don't know, there's a couple of them, and then there's one, I'll just say it's to do with repairing a machine, and it's like a 3 or 4 stage puzzle, and I got like the first, all but the last element straight away. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've clicked everything. I've clicked everything you could do. I can't leave the room. I don't know in this stage. I don't know what I need to do. I've spoken to everybody multiple times, and the characters are giving you sort of hints here and there. They say, have you? Maybe this needs to be a bit more, whatever. Overall, I think it's a well-made game, and it's enticed me to go back and play the others. I think if they're free, I'm definitely going to play them. If they're not free, then we'll see how I'm feeling that month. But yeah, I was drawn. I get quite into fandoms in the sense of, ever since I was a kid, I get drawn into a group of people who like a certain thing. Like I was into Red Dwarf, I was into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was into the Mask toys, that sort of thing. If I get into something, I then like to know all about it and find out about it and become a super fan. I'm not that like a stalker type person, but within reason. And this was that sort of thing, I was really intrigued and wanted to know more, and I wanted to find out about these characters and what they'd done in the previous games, because I was drawn into it. It's probably not as good as I'm making out, but I really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun with it, and I am definitely going to play it through again just to get this achievement that I need. And I think I'm going to play the other games as well. So yes, this was my game of the month. Loved it.
Cool. It's certainly an interesting series. Just having a little look on Wikipedia. Basically, the first game was 96 and the second was 97. The third game didn't come out till 2003, and that had the 3D graphics and all that. There was another one in 2006. So obviously the 2003 one did okay. And then again, it disappeared until 2013 or 2014 when they did a Kickstarter for the new one. So, and I don't know if there's not one listed since, so I don't know if that didn't do well enough to warrant continuing the series, or if it's just a case of they wanted to make their big finale, their big swan song. But yeah, certainly a bit odd to see a franchise that isn't something like the Elder Scrolls or GTA, where they make them so big and so packed that they don't need to release one every God knows how long. Also kind of interesting that Game 5 was originally split into 2 parts.
Oh.
I'm guessing we've got the whole game here, but when it was originally released, it was in 2 episodes.
If I remember correctly, yeah, it does sort of. There's a bit where it does move on to another act or something at one point, and it's clearly, I think there was a break in the 2 games because it's like it starts. There's a big cutscene introduction again, which you didn't really need. So I imagine that was part 2. Yeah.
So that was the Games with Gold for February. So what else have you guys been playing? Jason, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Not a lot, because I completed those 3 games. That took up most of the month. I had that big list of games I was playing last month I was going to complete. Yeah, I didn't do those. I will go back to those. Started playing some more. I started playing one very late at night, so I didn't give it much time, which was, I think, called Hidden Truths or Hidden Lies. They might be called Hidden Lies. It's very different. Which is lots of like video clips. It's all like real life video of people talking into a camera, as if they're doing
I've downloaded
a Zoom call to each other. I only played it for maybe half an hour, and I quite liked it, but it generally, I don't know what's going on yet. I don't know if there's a mystery you've got to solve or if it's just literally spying on people or what. But it's the basic gameplay thing is that you can search for search terms that are mentioned with it. So the subtitles come up at the bottom of the thing, and you can click on a word in it. So if someone mentions their mum, you could like click on mum and then put that in the search bar, and that'll bring up all the other videos that mention the word mum and that sort of thing. So you're trying to piece together something or other. I don't know. I'm guessing something will happen, but I haven't played enough of it, so I will talk about that next month hopefully. What else have I played? I feel like I've played other games, but I can't think what they are. So someone else talk, and I'll let you know if I remember anything. Mostly I've been playing the Games with Gold for February. That took up nearly the whole month.
Well, Adam, you take a run at this. What have you been playing, mate?
So yeah, like Jason, I've been playing the games with Gold. I've also gone back to Aero to try and get a lot more 100% complete in that. I found out there's lots of little secrets to get on each level, so to shoot. So I've been trying to get those. That's quite fun. I've been back to Aground. Played a bit more of that. But the game that I'm not going to talk about too much, because I believe you're going to talk about it, Shaun, is Infernax. And Shaun.
Oh yeah, very much. Let me take that one.
Yeah, basically, Shaun put me onto this game, Infernax, and it's a delight. But that's all I'm going to say on that, because Shaun will take that. So, over to you, Shaun.
Oh well.
I've remembered a game I played.
Go on, Jason. We'll let you have a go.
Okay, it's called Infernax. Let me give you a picture of the scene. No, I did play that this morning. I've played about 20 minutes of it. I'll pass it over to you, Shaun, who no doubt
the fact that I'm just like, I'll play this game, guys. It's great. That is now your homework.
So you didn't tell me. I saw you playing it. I spied on you, and it said Shaun is playing this game, and I went, "What's that?" And then I started playing it. So, yeah.
We might as well start with
carry on.
Infernax then. That was the second thing I played this month. I think I loaded it in last weekend. Basically, I'd heard of this before because I like a Metroidvania and I follow plenty of groups on Facebook and stuff. So I'd kind of heard about the progress of this, and it launched and came straight onto Game Pass. So I downloaded it. I played about 2 or 3 minutes. So I watched the beginning credits, and then I got off a boat, and I'm like, I wonder if I could jump in the water and die, like right off the thing. And I tried it, and the guy was like, "No, don't be an idiot. If you go in the water, you're wearing armor, you'll drown, and it makes you jump the other way." So I tried it again, and he said something else. And I tried it about 10 more times, and he kept saying other things, including noting that the joke was wearing thin, and eventually let me jump into the water, and I died. And there's no achievement or anything for it, but that immediately was like, you know what, game? You and I are going to get on. And then the next thing is you go across a couple of screens, and there is a man, and he says, "Can you help me?" and you're like, you can immediately slay him, or you can try to help him. And of course, I'm a kind and generous person. I tried to help him, and despite this being in an 8-bit NES style, he turns into this ridiculous hulking eldritch abomination with like 2 faces, and like it's half of its insides on the outside, and it all looks like a rupturous split, and it starts breathing fire, and it's 8 times the size of you, and it hits like a mule, and I'm like, oh, game. Oh, we're going to get on very, very well. And it keeps up the pressure for a little while. You're largely railroaded into only being able to go one particular way. As it starts, you eventually end up in this village, and then it is attacked. You have to fight another even bigger, even more powerful monster, and it's got this giant sword, and the first thing it does is cleave one of the guards in two. And another delightful thing, when you defeat the first monster, as it dies, it explodes in a pile of blood, and it's an ongoing mechanic of when you kill something big, it splurts blood on you, and that kind of drips off you as you walk around for a little bit. So yeah, you then defend the town, and then the game properly starts opening up. So you wander around, you get mini quests to help villagers, and then you go and you find a dungeon, and you have to make your way through that, in which you will obtain a new power in all of them, and you'll defeat a main boss, and this will allow you to progress further through the game as you slowly level up your character and everything like that. But so not only is all of that brilliant, the mechanics are fantastic. I've heard it referred to as NES hard. I don't think it's quite... I would call it a meaty challenge, but I beat it in like... I've either been playing it for 1 or 2 weeks, and it's what I've been spending a lot of what little spare time I have. So I'll probably put in a couple hours in a day, and I beat it relatively quickly. There were some bits where... It's one of those games where, as it goes on, the platforming becomes a lot harder, and I was getting quite snarky about it because it's incredibly well made, so you can see every single time the mistake is your fault. It doesn't stop you getting annoyed by it, but like it is very clear on what you need to do. If you don't have the skill to do it, you just need to keep trying it. Also, here's another thing I found late in the game. You've got lives, and I didn't realise they replenish. When you go to a shrine to save, you replenish your health and you replenish your mana. But you can also buy these extra lives. So I thought, well, I'm going to save them for the end game. So every time I lost one, I was resetting the dungeon. So actually, I did about 90% of the game without dying because I just reset on that. And then I just stupidly fell off a cliff in the middle of nowhere near a save point, because later in the game you can teleport to them. And when it reloaded me, it replenished that heart, and I'm like, you I've been going through this game trying desperately not to die, and now I've realised I actually had 2 or 3 extra lives this whole fucking time. But yeah, it's an incredible game. It's got great humour. And one of the things it also has, or a couple of the things it also has, is quite early on, you're given a few decisions and a few quests. Now, what I found out is there are good and evil playthroughs of the game. And not only, it's not like, say, Fable. Fable has good and evil, but exactly the same game. It's just people boo you or cheer you. This has different, like completely different plots, or largely different plots. It's got a load of like bosses and characters you won't interact with if you're on one path or the other. There are 4 different achievements for completing it. There's an ultimate evil, standard good, ultimate good. I got ultimate good on my first playthrough because I was trying to... I normally play good on the first... If I'm only playing something once, or if I'm doing something the first time, I normally play good because it tends to be harder, but I usually find the XP reward is greater than the monetary reward, and that's just a habit I've fallen into with anything. XP in games, you always think you're hurting for money early on in the game, but it's actually XP because money you've always got a preposterous amount by the end of pretty much any game where you collect money. So so I played all the way through that. I beat that this morning. Very, very satisfied. The only thing, I don't think this is necessarily a criticism because it is based on the old NES style of game. Well, it's very much a good Castlevania 2 actually, or if you want, or Legends of Zelda 2. It is very, very much taken from Castlevania 2, but Castlevania 2, as we all know, is not very good, and this is fucking excellent. But it likes to play with you a little bit, and it's also got loads of really dumb stuff. Like, you'll figure out how to do it, but you can play through this game as Contra. Like,
what?
Yeah, it completely changes the sprite to the guy from Contra, and you've got a gun. And you play through the whole game again, but it's now a Contra game. But it's all the layouts the same, and the villains are the bosses are the same and everything. So I've started a playthrough of that now, because I want to know, like, do they give the Contra guys the power-ups that the standard hero gets, or do they get different power-ups to get them through the? Because like later in the game, you get a power-up where you can use your mace to launch yourself into the air or launch yourself forward over great distance to get through a platforming challenge. Like, is that changed when you're playing through as the Contra guy, or do you still get those same power-ups but you use your gun or something? It's whatever the hell it is. I'm really interested to find out, and then I'll do an evil playthrough as well. So yeah, Infernax, I absolutely, it sounds incredible as well. I really can't suggest it highly enough. It's an action platformer. It's a decent challenge. It looks gorgeous. It plays really well. It sounds great. I fucking love it. And and when I've finished playing it I'm just gonna buy it and leave it a year or two and then play it again because I absolutely love it. So hearty recommendation there. And the other two guys, do you want to chuck in with your comments now then on Infernax?
I'm sold.
Yeah, you pretty much said it all.
I've only played up to that the second boss, the second big thing you meet where he's attacking the town. That's as far as I've got.
Oh right, okay.
He killed me. So I've only played this morning for maybe 10-15 minutes. So it's not. But from what I played, I could see there's a lot of work gone into it. The sound was good. The pictures, everything seemed like a lot of effort had gone into it.
Oh yeah.
I only jumped off that pier once. And I thought, oh, that's good. At least he tells me not to jump off. He's told me not to jump off. I won't do that again. I'll get on with the game. That's what I'll do. So I went and got on with the game, and I did the same as you. I tried to help the bloke, and that was a bad move. Don't help the bloke. Kill the bloke. That's what you should do. Carried on. It's not, as you say, it's not much exploration. There's a couple of little tangents you can go down at the beginning, but it's just to find little hidden things. But yeah, I was already sold on it, and then since you've been talking about it as the game that keeps on giving, I think I'll carry on.
Oh, absolutely,
sounds good.
yeah. The exploration gets more and more as the game goes on, and that's in the dungeons as well. The dungeons aren't just walk through this thing. You actually have to. There's normally keys you have to find. There's the power up you have to find before.
Yeah, I'm
so
trying to do that now.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I absolutely love
There's
it.
actually 2 points I've just come up with this second as Jason was talking there. That very first monster, I did that both ways. So I initially went to that guy. Now I'm not great at my skill level isn't great at these types of games, so I tend to die quite a lot. So that first monster, I helped the guy and I died. So the next time I went back to him, I decided not to help him and kill him. However, I find out that the reward for you not helping him and just killing him isn't as great as if you try and help him. And so you can't upgrade on the very first save point. So you kind of lose out a bit. So then I just went, well, sod that. I'm starting the game again. So I started the game again, went to help him again so I could kill the monster just so I could get the upgrade. So,
And
yeah.
I'll go you one better.
Go on.
Actually, I believe that choice at the start of the game cuts off a massive subquest which stops you from actually facing the proper final level and boss of the game.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's basically the start of your good or evil playthrough.
Right.
Because I did super good, like the ultimate good guy thing.
Yeah.
This would probably be mild spoilers, so I'll just warn you of that now.
Most
But
alert.
I got into the final castle. I found the final boss, but I obtained something along the way, and I used that, and that opened a portal to hell.
Oh.
And all of that is lost, I believe, based on that first choice at the start of the game. Like, probably about
Oh.
another 6 quests you do to get to that point, and another 4 or 5 dungeons.
Right.
Mini
okay.
dungeons. Just for that ending. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely glorious.
There's the other point as well. I think I've gone slightly off the good path, having gone back and tried to help that guy. Because in the village, I found this church, and then I went into the church, and there was a chest, and I thought, oh, there's a chest. I'll look in the chest. So I looked at the chest. All of a sudden, my character steals all the money that's actually meant for the poor.
You bastard.
Yeah.
I did not realise that was what it was.
Did you speak to the priest?
No, I just went straight to the chest.
Yeah, he actually says to you, would you mind donating? This is our alms for the poor. So you can donate, or as you did, you could just go loot the fucker.
I stole it all. So this is how bad I am at these types of games. I don't do things in the normal way. Anybody else that would say, "Oh look, there's a priest. Let's go talk to him first." Me, no. I see the chest and go, "I'm going straight for the chest."
I am really excited for the pure evil playthrough that I'm going to do. But I don't know about you guys, but because I don't achievement whore on a lot of things because I don't have the time. Quite often it's the thing. So when I start a game, I'll quite often just flip through the achievements just to see if there's some stupid or easily missable thing. Because for the most part, games don't put spoilers in which is how I learned that there's a good and evil endings on this thing. So that slightly coloured the way I was going forward. I'd already decided I was going to help everyone because that's kind of what you do in a game. So but the first time I saw that chest, I did think, I could do with that money now. I mean, there is some stuff at that shop I've just passed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. And I brought myself a couple of potions. I was like, oh. Well, I brought myself some bottles, and then you go in the pub, and he actually gives you the potions. Mm-hmm. But no, great game.
Yeah, that's in Third X. It's out on Game Pass. It's a big thumbs up from all 3 dinos, so give that a go. The other thing I've played this month, I as Jason were talking earlier, we've both got downloaded a ton of stuff on from Game
Oh, yeah.
Pass and stuff like that to give a go. But because my brain just kind of goes, "You are doing this now," it just went, "Hey, do you remember that Shantae game you started playing like 2 or 3
Oh my
years ago
God.
that was a Games of Gold? Play that now." And I'm like, "Oh, I tried playing that. I didn't really get into it. Play that now." So I downloaded it, and I was so wrong. It's an absolute delight. I loved it. Took me about a week to 100%, maybe a little longer. Couple hours a day, a few days off, but it's charming as hell. I don't know what I didn't get on with the first time. He just plays this cute little cartoon genie girl and all her cute little friends, and they're just like having adorable little misadventures, and the stakes are never particularly high, and I got to what I thought was going to be the end, because it felt like it was winding down, and like there's this big bad guy, and he's like, he's going to bring up this absolute abomination from beyond. You're like, okay, this is fine. So you fight that, and that's probably the hardest boss battle in the game. But then they completely swerve you. It's just like a weird thing of this guy's plan was to bring up this demon from the Netherrealm. But because he realised it, because it's like this really cute squid thing, it's like, no, it's because I knew it was really cute squid, and I realised I could merchandise it. So I summoned it, got it to sign over its likeness to me, and then I got you to defeat it so it goes back and doesn't seek revenge on me, and I'm just going to merchandise it. And I'm like, what? What's going on? It's so cute. And then you get into the main villainous plot. All the previous bad guys you've defeated kind of come back and are just a bit snarky rather than evil now, and and it's got a few, I wouldn't call it hard by any means, but it's got a couple of slightly more tricky things you can do for the achievements. Like there's a really fun bit where you're like, she's a genie, or a half genie, in fact, Shantae half genie hero. You've got to go in this carpet ride race, which is not really a race; it's more of a running platforming section. But all of her competitors in the race are flying on these magic carpets, and there's an achievement for whipping all of them with your hair. Oh, she attacks by whipping with her hair, which is so cute. So you get a little achievement for that. There are these sections where she's going down slopes. They're probably some of the harder bits, so there are achievements for not getting hurt, not getting damaged at all on those. Those are pretty fun. But yeah, other than that, it was just an incredibly pleasant time, and I thought it was adorable. So I'd also recommend that. Not above Infernax, which is all gore and blood and horror, but if you want kind of a nice, cute, not particularly challenging time, I'd suggest Shantae Half Genie Hero. I've actually got they've also given the Shantae and the Pirate's Curse was a game of gold, which I thought was the game after, but was actually, weirdly enough, the game before, and Half Genie Hero is like a soft reboot, even though there's only like 5 or 6 games. But I'm going to play that at some point as well, and I hope it's anywhere near as cute. Because the Shantae games are by Way Forward, and they're actually... I don't think I've ever played a Way Forward game that I didn't love. They did like Double Dragon Neon and stuff. So they're doing... I'm pretty sure they're the guys doing Shredder's Revenge, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that I'm ridiculously hyped for later this year. Look forward to that in my Games with Animals section at some point. Pause button, that's what we called it, pause button. So that's what I've been playing this month. What you guys been watching? Who'd I go to first on that? Adam, what have you been watching, mate?
So a couple of things come to mind, and one of them is a series that I started watching a very long time ago, but never finished. I think I stopped after season 1, but it was Merlin. And so I thought I'd go back and watch Merlin. And even though I can spot a load of stuff that he's wrong and he's bad and all that crap. But I'm quite enjoying it. I'm enjoying the storyline. I'm enjoying the fantasy of it. So yeah, I'm slowly plucking away at that. But the other thing
It was back in the period where the BBC were actually putting effort into making different shows for all the family, which they've stopped again now, because they did that really weird Robin Hood show where like the first couple of seasons were all right, and then they killed off Robin Hood because the actor left, and they like still made a couple of more seasons. That was really strange. And obviously it was off the back of Doctor Who doing really well.
They did that in the 80s of Robin Hood as well, though. They changed the Robin Hood halfway through. So it's not unprecedented. They changed the actor and the character.
Ridley Scott did it in his one and only Robin Hood movie. Did you see that? It was terrible.
Spoilers. The thing that
like
killed off Robin Hood for me...
15-year-old bad fucking... I know Ridley Scott's become one of those old, angry old man waves at clouds. Oh, you think you people you don't want skill and classes. Like, Ridley, you've not made a good film in like 20 years. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I keep going and seeing his stuff. Like, I want to give him the chance. I went to see those two fucking not alien movies that were god fucking awful. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Still got it anymore. Adam, sorry, I've derailed your thing. I apologise. Do continue, sir.
Perfectly fine. So yeah, Merlin. There's a bunch of stuff wrong with it, but it is charming in a certain sort of way, and I like all fantasy stuff, so I'm thoroughly enjoying that. But I've went to the cinema, which is a rarity for me.
What did you see?
There's a film that is based on a game that I haven't played yet, and I've been meaning to play it, but Uncharted.
Oh, right.
And I absolutely loved it. I really, really did. Yes, there are certain cliche things about it that are really bad, and you just try and stay away from in films, but This was like national. It was like another national treasure for me, and which again I really enjoyed. I tend to be able to turn off the thing that spots all the bad things in films with this type of film, and yeah, I really really enjoyed it. All the acting was absolutely fantastic. Tom Holland was great. Mark Wahlberg was great. Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
So what is it you're saying is... I know you're not saying it's bad, but what might I perceive as bad? Because as far as I'm concerned, all those sort of films with your National Treasure and your Indiana Jones and all that, they are full of cliches anyway. That's half the fun of it. Because they're all sort of...
Yeah, I'll tell you one bit. So lots of people go into these types of films with a realistic point of view. Now, the people that go into these films with a realistic point of view will not enjoy them. It's like going into Bond thinking spies are actually like that. It just doesn't happen. And there's a bit in it where they found these two really old pirate ships, and they've lifted them up by helicopters, and they begin a helicopter chase. So basically two helicopters chasing each other with two pirate ships swinging below, with Tom Holland hanging on for dear life, trying to fight his way across. And
I was going to say, do they like do the whole pirate swinging from one ship to the other thing?
Oh god, yes.
Boarding the other ship. Of course they do. Yeah,
of course they do.
Good.
The cliches.
It has to in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I can automatically tell there's going to be a certain amount of people that will look upon that and go, "Oh, well, that's just ruined the film for me." That's not realistic. That's not going to happen.
To be fair, that's in the trailer.
Well, yeah, that's why I picked it, because it wouldn't be much of a spoiler.
Oh, fair enough.
Good
man.
Yeah, but it's things like that I can tell people automatically go, that's not real. Oh, I'm going to switch off. A film like this, you've really got to go in with the viewpoint of this is fantasy. This type of stuff ain't gonna happen. This is gonna suck me out of the boring world that I'm living and into this absolutely fantastic world where this sort of stuff happens. And it's like watching Bond. You go into Bonds with you go into it with a certain point of frame of mind to say this isn't real. And then you enjoy it. You enjoy it for what it is. Same with Mission Impossible, all those types of films. Same with National Treasure, which is what I kind of like this too. If you go into it with the right frame of mind, you will have a very good time. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. It kind of makes fun of itself with the jokes they come across as. Tom Holland's very funny, Mark Wahlberg's very funny, and their acting really does not carry the film. The film, I think, carries itself, but it really does push the film along. And very good film. Definitely go watch it.
My mate isn't about to watch movies at the minute because he's been moving house and everything. So I've been going to see some stuff on the weekend, either on my own or with other people. But I would have gone to see this. I would have gone to see this. But I must say, it did have one of the worst trailers I've seen in a long, long time. Like, I like Mark Wahlberg and I like Tom Holland, so, and I like Antonio Banderas as well. So I knew I'd be in for a pretty good time. But it was one of those trailers that I felt that it managed to show all of the plot of the film and absolutely none of the charm as to why I'd enjoy watching it. Does that make sense?
Oh. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
there is some surprises
from the trailer. Like a lot of, as you say, they pulled up two old galleons, like these old, half broken down galleons, up in helicopters in what in the trailer was a really shit special effect, by the way. But like they do that and they're doing that and they're jumping between them and everything. That looks fun. How do you not make that look fun in a trailer? I guess because they wanted to spend they do about 3 or 4 shots, which is cutting to slow motion of Tom Holland falling backwards, which is kind of stuff from the games. They are shots you've seen in the trailers again. So I've not played an Uncharted game, but I'm aware of them. I've, got my hands on them once or twice. I've just not played through them. And it's like, that's kind of fun for a fan service thing, but really feels like one of those trailers where it's like, okay, this is everything in the whole movie, so you don't, so you know what you're getting, so go watch it. And it's like, actually, your trailers really kind of turned me off. But again, if my mate was around, I would have gone to watch it because I like the people in it.
Ignore the trailer. Definitely ignore the trailer. There's a few things in it that are quite a nice surprise within the film that isn't in the trailer, and it will bring you along for the ride. It's a fun film. It's a fun film to watch.
I was going to say, a lot of trailers are made by a different company that makes the film, and they're just using the early footage, and they're making the special effects just for that trailer to get it out as quick as possible. So you can't always base. I think, what's his name? Don't know. There's a actor-director guy. He'll come to me in a minute. Who is quite? No. Doesn't matter who it is. Anyway, the point being is, he has always said that no, the trailer is to get the people into the cinema. This obviously didn't work in this case for you, but. And I've seen a few of this guy's films. I wish I could remember his name. Sorry, I'll come back to me in a minute. And it's true. You watch his films. I've watched several of the trailers for the films that this guy makes, and I always think, well, that's the entire freaking film in the trailer. What am I going to get? And then I watch the film, and that thing's over in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, is it Roland Emmerich?
Okay. No, it's far. When I say it, you're going to go, oh.
Kevin Smith.
No, you're closer in style though. What's the fucking guys? We'll cut it in at some point when I remember. Doesn't matter who it is. The point is, trailers, you can't always believe them because they're made by other teams and they're trying to just get your bums on seats, and they're probably trying to reflect the game and get the gamers to come in, and they're saying, oh, we'll show him falling because he falls in the game, so let's show that a lot. And have we finished that special effects on the ships yet? Get it on, quick.
Yeah.
No, definitely for this one, because, yeah, ignore the trailer. But there's actually something interesting about this. They were trying to make this film for quite a long time, to the point where Mark Wahlberg had the main role. And he then obviously got a little bit older, and for the stunts and stuff, his knees was hurting and his body aching, but he was still involved and around trying to get it made. And then eventually they said, yeah, all right, we're going to make this. But of course, by that point, Mark Wahlberg was a bit too old for that role, so that's when they cast Tom Holland, but they cast Mark Wahlberg in as the sort of, I say sort of mentor. You'll see what I mean when you watch the film.
Okay.
I can't really say too much, but
yeah, that stuff is so weird about Hollywood as well, because it's like, okay, right, BioShock is a great example. That is or Friday night, Five Nights at Freddy's. That's really hot, right? 6 years later, okay, we're finally at the point we're about ready to make this film. It's like, no, look, I'm saying you must have, like, what is the point of releasing a fucking Uncharted movie now? When was the last game out? 4 years ago? Yeah. Like, I know it's a big series, but that was supposed to be the last game. It's like, what is wrong with these people? I understand you want to put out a relatively good movie, but the thing they've always got so many what do you want to call them, prospect scripts or something? Like, they've always got hundreds of these movies that they've optioned that they can re-fucking to one of them and strike while the iron is hot. Like, a really great one of my favourite ones is Five Nights at Freddy's, because Warner Brothers had that license for so long. It took so long for them to actually fucking do something with it that they then realised that the license they bought had expired. So they released it as a Banana Splits movie a few years ago, 2018 or something. Because they're like, oh, crap. And it's like Five Nights at Freddy's. That was super big for a good few years. And it took them like 6 or 7 to actually get a movie. It's ridiculous. Like,
and just going back to that point, it is ridiculous how long they took to make the movie. But I do like the way they did bring it in. So when I said about where the film doesn't take itself too seriously, they actually take the mickey out of the fact that Mark Wahlberg can't do all the stunts that Tom Holland does, because Mark Wahlberg's character actually turns around in a film and says, yeah, my knee's playing up, you go and do that. And it's that kind of running joke all the way along. And yeah, but they have made this incredibly late for when they should have made it, but I do think they have brought it in well, and they've actually thought about how to portray it to people, even though the trailer does an absolute shit job. But yeah, yes, the comedy in it is quite funny. Yeah,
it is actually good. Just going to adaptations, just for a sec. This has been a pretty big couple of weeks for news on that. Sonic 2 is getting a TV spin-off for Idris Elba's Knuckles. Fallout show is coming. BioShock show is coming. The Halo trailer dropped. So it looks like they're finally getting their things out of their arse and go, oh, maybe we can... maybe video games is the next quote-unquote comic book thing. It's like...
I hope so.
All of like, the last fucking... When was the last BioShock game? And BioShock is one of my favourite single games of all time. Good. I think it's one of the greatest games ever made. But even I'm like, why the fuck are you releasing a BioShock TV show like now? Like, the first BioShock I think was like 2007 or 2009.
They're trying to bring it back.
Very, very... It's not disco. It's not coming back in that way. That's not how it works.
But they want it, if they own the rights to something, they want to make something new out of it. You know,
Yeah,
they
I mean,
got rid of Star Wars for
making-
ages. How long did it take them to make the blooming Battleship game? That game, I was not still playing that. I'd moved on. I didn't even watch the film, but you know.
like, it's,
Oh, in
Yes.
answer to your question, Jason, by the way, yes,
Oh, what's
they
my
did
question?
leave it open for number 2.
of course they did. It's a fucking movie. That's all they did. I bet there's a couple of bloody teasers in the end credits as well, because you
Yep.
know, God, I'm so sick of all of that. We're nowhere near as bad as we were in like 2009, where almost everything, like all of these big movies, felt like almost an introduction, and like, oh no, the next one you're actually going to get the movie. This was just set up, and it's like, yeah, all of your movie needs to be good, and then we'll come watch the second one. You can't sit there going, like, it's why I dislike the new Mortal Kombat movie, despite the fact that the main character is not fucking a Mortal Kombat character. But I digress. This whole movie is like sitting there going, oh yeah, but when we do Mortal Kombat, you're really going to enjoy it. It's like, your fucking movie is called Mortal Kombat! You've not fucking Mortal Kombated! Why am I going to come back for another one? I mean, obviously I am, and very much behind The Miz for Johnny Cage. That would be perfect. Like, of all the times you joke about a wrestler going to Hollywood, that is perfect. That is goddamn perfect. But
Oh, a little tip for you as well. When you get to the end credits and you're asking yourself, should I wait? Wait. The bit
Okay.
in the end, yeah.
or more
The little-
importantly,
the
if you're
little
not seeing it at the
teaser,
cinema,
yeah.
flip through and find it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I was really annoyed at Spider-Man No Way Home. As much as I fucking loved that movie, the bit at the end was like a 3-minute trailer. Was just a 3-minute trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm like, that's bullshit. You can't have us fucking sit here for 7 minutes of credits and then you're showing us a trailer for the next movie.
different film.
That's taking the piss.
Apparently they can.
Well, yeah, in
you
fact, they
go.
did. And I sat through the fucking thing, but I was grumbling to myself. I am really looking forward to that. Sam Raimi rarely does something boring. Let's put it that way. And this looks like it's fucking batshit insane full Sam Raimi, and I am absolutely here for it. It's really weird because my interest in Marvel has really waned after Endgame, and of all things, Doctor
that was meant
Strange
to
is
be
the
the
thing
end,
where I'm
wasn't it?
like, well, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be... No, it wasn't meant to be the end. They're saying it's the last Avengers movie, so they'll maybe do some more crossover things and make the universe a bit more holistic. But yeah, I don't think they're doing another big threat in that way. But then, how are they going to get rid of Kang?
Yeah.
And resolve all of that, because you're not going to want to really just do that thing unless they make a Kang movie, and that's the big ending. But anyway, that's pure speculation. I forget how we
Because
got
I've so
to this
far
point.
avoided all spoilers for. I haven't seen the last Spider-Man. I haven't watched any of the trailers for the Multiverse of Madness because I don't want anything ruined for me. So I'm still about 3 Marvel movies ago.
That's really impressive. I
Yeah.
can't believe... Oh, no, actually. I was going to make a joke and spoil the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife, but again, people might not have seen that, and that is delightful and deserves not to be spoiled.
That's very nice of you.
Turns out Spider-Man and the soap guy are the same person, and they're both in the Fight Club. There you go.
What, in Ghostbusters? That is a twist.
Yeah, twist. All of Sony's movies are one multiverse now. Spider-Man's come away from Marvel, it's joined Ghostbusters.
Well, they made Eternals, didn't they? That's meant to be loosely linked, isn't it?
Another one I've not watched.
No, Eternals is a full-on Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's linked, isn't it? To Avengers, just not.
Yeah,
Avengers.
a bit.
Yeah.
That was not great.
Oh, I heard it's good. Okay.
Other than Spider-Man, I didn't like much of anything out of Marvel last year. I thought it was all a bit by the numbers, mediocre stuff. It was nice that they tried some new things, but their quote-unquote house style is so played out that I'm kind of done. I really liked Loki from episode 3 onwards. That was doing something really fun and cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I think I like Loki from the beginning. I think
Loki was good.
certainly it picked up after the first couple of episodes. Certainly, yeah. I think I had to restart one of the episodes, probably the second one, because I sort of just started doing other things, and then well,
Yeah.
I've missed like half an hour. What's going on?
Yeah, I got mild spoilers here, but fuck it, Loki's been out for a while, and who really cares? I didn't get interested in Loki until they made it very clear that they were doing a romance with him and the alternate version of himself, or themselves, I guess. That was when I was like, okay, this could be interesting if they're actually doing it. That's really funny. And then the next episode, which I will not spoil what happens, but let's just say Richard E. Grant is in it, and it is the greatest thing Marvel has done in God knows how long. Then I was super into it again. Loved Loki, or the second half of Loki at least. That was awesome. What If is a big mixed pile of mostly missed opportunities.
I keep meaning to watch that. I haven't done any of those yet.
Yeah, and I was really into Hawkeye until the last episode, where they kind of ruined it. But still, having that character was still cool. Despite the fact that I'm not overly happy what they did with it, I'm still super happy they did it.
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel have... There is one thing I'm super interested in. Marvel have announced they're doing... they're bringing Charlie Cox back, and they're doing another series of Daredevil. And I know it's not going to be anywhere near as good as the Netflix one, because it'll probably be PG-13 and all that bollocks. But really like Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Really like that world. So more than happy to see a bit more of that. Now bring back the rest. Especially Jessica Jones, because she was the best.
So what have you been watching, Joe?
On a similar note, the whole Disney Marvel thing, I've been watching Book of Boba Fett. Finished that off. I don't think you've watched that, have you?
I've watched all of that.
Okay. I deliberately stayed away from
I haven't.
spoilers and public opinion so I can make my own decision on that, and I do feel that my impression of it seems to be pretty much what everyone else is feeling, or a lot of them, which is... I'm kind of glad they made it, but yeah, I don't think anything... I'll tell you what I found wrong with it, is I kept... my disbelief was not suspended. I was looking around at other stuff and going, that looks a bit fake, or I was thinking about how they were making it, and particularly the last episode, there were certain elements of that's a set, or that's not even always a set, but that it looks like it's shot on the theme park, some of it, and it looked like that. Oh, there's the little baby running around. That's cute, but that's just there for. It was just odd, and I'm not going to get into the whole why is it called the Book of Boba Fett, because there's not a book in it, and there's hardly any Boba Fett. And he doesn't seem to do a lot. And I think they could have done a lot more with the tension and the gangster style of it, or the Western style of it, or the, just brought more threats going on. But it's like, here's a threat, and we'll just do nothing with it until the last episode, and then there you go. And here's a couple of good episodes that are fine, but they're not really related. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but generally my opinion was I quite like it, but I didn't need to be Boba Fett the character, and I don't think they knew what to do with him really, because he's a very middle ground. He's not too violent and he's not too nice. He's just like, right, I want to do this,
I'm
but
going
I
to
don't
jump
really
in
want to do
here
that. Go on then.
because I have a very relevant thing that may change your thought on
Please
this.
do.
And it's
I didn't hate it.
contextual, and I didn't realise how contextual it was until I was getting towards the end.
Go on.
At the end of The Mandalorian Season 2,
Yes.
in the end credits, it cuts to Boba sitting on his throne with
Yeah. Wherever you.
his bodyguard, and it says, to be continued in the Book of Fett, or Book of Boba Fett.
Okay.
It meant that literally in that we thought, oh, Boba Fett's story is continued. No. It meant very specifically the second half of this season of The Mandalorian is the Book of Boba Fett. So you're actually getting an 18-part season. because so much from season 2 of The Mandalorian ties into this one thematically and with some of the characters they use and everything like that, that I think
Absolutely.
they did the Book of Boba Fett a disservice by not calling it something like The Mandalorian Boba Fett's Reign or something like that. Like, because they wanted to surprise you that they were doing more Mandalorian in the Boba Fett show, it pissed everyone off because you sit through the first 4 episodes going, this is not remotely what I want from Boba Fett. And then by the end, you're like, oh, they're not actually doing a Boba Fett show. I'm trying to keep this vague because I don't want to spoil it all for Adam.
Yeah.
But you can't really talk about it without talking about why it failed. And a big... and to be fair, this is not the Boba Fett show anyone wanted to watch. Like, no one come into this thinking, oh, it's going to be about him being a nice, really honourable guy on the back foot. Like, no, we wanted to see space adventure for a badass. But then you've got the problem of that's so close to the Mandalorian. What I was expecting was a more competent, violent, and on the wrong side of good version of the Mandalorian. And what we actually kind of got was a weird underdog story, and then actually it was more of the Mandalorian by the end. And it was really, really strange, and I don't know if it was rushed or if they just... the idea they had, they didn't manage to realise as well as we'd have liked. But I think it's better than a lot of people who were crying about it being the worst thing. But I still wouldn't say it was particularly great until the last few episodes, where it's just the Mandalorian. They just did the Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian.
I won't spoil anything. I liked the early episodes, the Sand People stuff that was mentioned. That I think that opened up a bit more information that we didn't know before, or it showed a side of things I didn't know, or it was quite interesting and evolved the characters a bit. Then it was just mainly... I think Disney, this is my new theory, they're making stuff up as they go along. They basically come up with the title first. No, I mean, they come up with the title, like WandaVision. They go, right, we've got these 2 characters, Wanda and Vision. Oh, we'll call it WandaVision. That sounds like a television show. Let's do it around sitcoms. And it seems like they just evolve out of it. And that I enjoyed. And then they'll go, oh, well, Loki can't really count because it's his name, isn't it? What else have they done? So I feel like we need to round off this series with, we'll call it the Book of Boba Fett. That sounds cool. And then we'll have him take over as a gangster leader. But then he doesn't really. I don't know. It didn't. As I said, the main thing is, I just found there's lots of stuff going on, but also it doesn't really affect that plot. I think, as you say, if it had just been another continuation, series 3 of The Mandalorian, and you had a bit more of him in it, it would have been okay. But to be honest, even in the second season of The Mandalorian, there was a couple of episodes I wasn't that into. And that included the Boba Fett one, to be fair, or one of them.
Oh no!
I kept looking. I don't know if it's just the way it was shot. I think actually, I quite like Robert Rodriguez, but I think he did the last episode, and I think he did the episode that I didn't like the one before either. I don't know if he just uses a lot of different angles.
He did the last episode because the last episode was a Western, so obviously that's the guy you get.
But I didn't feel like anything was a threat. There's action all the way through. It's Desperado all the way through, but I just didn't get engaged in it. And I'd like to be engaged in it because I enjoyed all of the ideas and pretty much the characters. I don't hate it, and I will keep watching it. I think
a large part of its flaw is the immediate disconnect. Right, so Boba Fett hasn't been used in anything main Star Wars since Attack of the Clones, right? And that was Jango Fett, and he had his clone boy, right? So Boba Fett has got this incredible legacy and this incredible fan support of people who don't know Star Wars and don't know much of anything about Boba Fett, know the look of the character and know that he's a badass mercenary. And that's not told to you in the Star Wars films he's in. He stands around and has a couple of lines, looks fucking badass. the myth surrounding him is almost entirely fan created for the hype of this fucking cool looking character. And the first thing they do is take all of that away, and the show doesn't build to him being that guy. And it doesn't show a past of him being that guy. It shows this completely other guy who is kind of like a freedom. The guy in the first episode is like, no, I don't have any fucking shit with slaves. I'll murder slavers. Your ship was called Slave fucking One! Like, that was a thing! It's like, the show... I think the show is called Boba Fett, but may even have been written around... in the first episode of the latest season of The Mandalorian, he meets this other guy who's actually wearing Fett's armor and that. And it almost feels like the show was written for him, and then like, oh wait, we can use Boba Fett? Oh sweet, right, fuck it, we'll just use him then. Because I don't think this, in any way, shape or form, felt like the Boba Fett that anyone expected, and I think that severely harmed it. And overall, I don't think it was as good as The Mandalorian, but that's, that would technically be season 3, and season 1 and 2 are great, so your quality's gonna dip eventually. This also came out. They must have been writing this when they were finishing writing season 2 of The Mandalorian, because it came out really quick thereafter. So I wonder if that was part of it, because it's by the same guy. It's still Jon Favreau writing and overseeing it. So that's my tuppence anyway.
I've also been watching a film, which I didn't see at the cinema, but it came out on Sky, I think. I did that thing where I got a free DVD again. Well, not free. I paid for it. I don't know why I said free. It's not free at all. The film, as I struggle to remember the title, was Last Night in Soho.
That's pretty good.
Edgar Wright film. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've also, speaking of commentaries earlier, I also watched it through with a commentary, because I do like an Edgar Wright commentary, generally speaking. I've liked them all the way back since the Spaced DVDs, and they generally put a lot of stuff into their commentaries, so I'm quite happy with that. Don't want to say too much about the film, because it's a lot of spoilery stuff, and I think Edgar Wright originally said no one spoil it when you do the reviews, but it's not a particularly spoilery thing. It is a psychological horror or thriller? Horror, probably. About a girl, modern day girl, who comes from Cornwall. Her mum had committed suicide. It's kind of hinted that she sees her mum, like images, but you don't know if that's like mental condition or she's actually seeing the ghost. They don't really play the bit up too much, actually. But generally speaking, she's obsessed with the 60s, and particularly 60s London. She then moves to London, and then through one thing or another, she kind of keeps sort of experiencing things from 60s London as if she's there. And then she gets really... it's kind of a coming-of-age thing, in a sense that she gets a bit obsessed with this quite glamorous 60s woman, and it sort of follows through the two different time zones to see that, really. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's
you've
it's
not said
like
anything that's not in the trailer so far.
No, I know, but yeah, that's generally it. I enjoyed it. I think it's Diana Rigg's last film. She's got a relatively small role in it, but she's does a cracking good go at it. I think it's dedicated to her as well.
Good game.
Very much enjoyed it.
I saw that at the cinema, and I was I wouldn't say disappointed.
Don't then.
But I wasn't as impressed as I'd hoped I was going to be, because, and I suppose you could say this for a lot of his films, but I don't really, like, the style and the charm and everything was there. It felt like an Edgar Wright film, but the writing was very A to B to C. Like, there wasn't anything in it that surprised me, and for what it was, I don't think the tension really ramped up. I think really early on you get a bit of violence, but for something that's supposed to portray a descent into madness, I really kind of didn't feel it. I don't know. I really enjoyed watching it, but unlike a lot of his other stuff, I probably wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't go out my way to watch it again.
That's fair.
It was, it was just very good, but very good in the way of, it's done now. I don't need to. It's not left an impression.
No, that's fine.
That's perhaps.
I kind of agree. I did. I actually enjoyed. I picked up on a few more things the second time I watched it, and I think you can always sort of pick up on the artistry and like he does a lot of things in the background and with rhythm and stuff and timing that aren't always obvious first time around.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it's a better film if you then notice it. It just means because if a film is a film, you should be entertained and enjoy it. And no, I don't. I'm always going to prefer the Hot Fuzz over Baby Driver, to be honest. But I still like them all as films. I just and obviously it's different writers he has each time, and I think I think he has the same editors sometimes. This is definitely the same editor as Baby Driver, and is also on Spaced as well. So he's got something going there. But
I thought
it's not my favourite.
Yeah, he writes everything he puts out.
Oh, he's definitely well, he's always like a co-writer anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends what mood I'm in. But I flip between Hot Fuzz and Baby Driver as my favourite. Baby Driver is phenomenal.
I think maybe it is. I've not got anything against it. I just I think I have a very spaced vision of Edgar Wright, and everything is skewed on that. So the further it gets from sort of funny but very average British thing that's humor, it become, and the more serious in Hollywood it gets, the less I associate it with him, and I shouldn't do that. That's a bit of a personal issue. But I'm much more.
Baby Driver was serious.
It's more serious.
I took that whole thing as a comedy.
I mean, there's funny elements.
No,
of it.
it's not like a here's a joke funny, but like just down to the way he dresses and the way he acts, like he's fucking Dean Martin and stuff, is all I think intended to be humorous.
Well, I took it like a modern day musical style of thing, so it's not out and out funny, but it's a choice. The visuals are a choice, and he always puts a lot of the visuals and the soundtrack play a huge part in them anyway. Similar in this film, it's the colours and the music play a huge part in this one, but there's a dance sequence as well. He does. I think he should make a musical. I think that's what I need.
Oh God, no.
You I hate musicals. Why do you hate musicals?
Oh,
I like a musical. I don't like all musicals. Some musicals are horrible, but I think musicals as a concept are great.
The problem with musicals, and I know this comes from I know this isn't true, perhaps even of most, but the songs the songs feel like a way of padding out a thin story or thin characters. It's like, I tell you what, here's a great one, right? They always say, don't have your characters say what they're feeling, show it. And that's what a fucking musical is. They're like, we don't have the skill to show with acting and detailed and poignant writing how to do this. I know, we'll write a song to explain everything that's going on and why they're feeling that way, and then technically it's not cheating.
It's not cheating. If anything, it's before film came out. It's opera. It's your standard Disney
a musical is not fucking
formula.
Opera.
It's the same.
No, it isn't.
What I'm saying is, it's a take on. It is kind of opera. Is basically people coming in and then singing how they're feeling. I'm quite narrowing this down this explanation, but it is. That's what it is. It's not all hidden subtext and stuff. They're basically saying, "I am very fat today, and I would like a pie." I don't know why I've done that as the choice of song. I haven't seen many operas, or any operas come to that. I'm sure that's what Madame Butterfly is all about. Is that an opera? I don't know. Anyway, the point is that it's just another style of film. Some films are like your jumping out of planes and falling and flying in pirate ships across the thing, and that's a style. But that's not going to work for other films. And some films, you sing what you mean. And for example, the Encanto Disney film, which I watched 2.5 months ago now, still hear those songs in my head every single day. Can't get them. They will not go away. And I quite like them.
Always,
And
my buddy Mark always says that I'm secretly a musical fan because, to be fair, a few of my favourite movies are musicals. Like, I fucking love the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Repo the Genetic Opera. But when I think there are a few tiers of musicals. Like,
Definitely.
I made him go and see Les Mis when that film got made, and that was fucking shocking. But something like that, I'd kind of go watch. Like, I like that Sweeney Todd film that Tim Burton made. That musical was quite fun.
I like the Sweeney Todd bit. I don't like the musical bit.
Oh, I don't remember
I
any of the
get where you're
songs,
coming
but
from. That's it. I don't like the. I think to do a good musical, you got to have good songs, and I don't think Sweeney Todd's got that many good songs, if any.
Okay, so then, do you think Mamma Mia is the greatest movie of all time? Musical movie of all time?
I've not seen it. I
A
imagine.
lot of people like ABBA. I do. Not like
no.
ABBA.
Well, that's it. I like most of the ABBA songs that I think are in it, and if it's a story that makes sense, loosely connecting those together, it might well work. That's a modern day opera. There you go. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's crap without seeing it. I'm not saying you are saying that. It could be the greatest film
I am
ever.
saying that. I'm pretty sure Mamma Mia is crap, but then I don't like ABBA songs, and I've seen the trailer for it, and it looks like one of those movies that I can sometimes take, but usually don't have the patience for. Like the Ocean's 11 or what they became, which is just like they're just winking at the camera the whole time rather than actually making a film. Like the charm of the film is in them winking at the camera. We're all in on this little joke, and I find that lazy and a bit kind of pandering.
Okay, I'm going to watch Mamma Mia as this week's homework. See if it is that.
For me, I think it depends.
Who said Adam can speak? You've had your bit. This is me and Jason's section, apparently.
Yes.
No, for musicals. No, for musicals, I think it depends how many songs are in it. Like, I've seen a couple of musicals where it literally goes from song to song to song to song, and that it just switches me off straight away.
That's a bit much for you.
I need acting. I need story.
Yeah.
I don't
You can
need
get story through
constant
song.
music. Whereas if it's like you get a musical on a big moment, and then it does a bit of acting and a bit of drama and a bit of action, and then all of a sudden it comes to another sort of crossroads, and then all of a sudden they break out into song again. I can deal with that. That's probably my level and where my level stops.
You are absolutely describing the labyrinth there, and I couldn't agree more.
Oh, you've kind of pipped me at the post then. I was going to link back and say, Shaun, what about the Muppet movies?
Oh, fuck, I love the Muppets movies so very, very much. It does come to a thing of, like, but where's the difference between a musical and a movie that highlights several musical numbers? Like, is The Lion King a musical? Because a lot of the key moments are dealt with through song, but there's more not singing runtime than there is songs.
Yeah, I mean they describe it as a musical on some stages and stuff, don't they? Yeah.
Lion King the musical.
Legit one of my favourite animated movies of all time. I fucking love that film.
Oh yeah, it's great, absolutely great. I'd describe that as a musical, and I would say I can't deal with much more than that.
I thought you was going to say you just can't wait to be king.
But I do like the songs in that. I think the songs are very catchy, so I think Jason's got a point with they've got to have decent songs that are catchy.
Yeah.
They can't just throw in any old random number just to describe what the hell's going on.
It's a controversial opinion I've got, but I think musicals can be good when they're good. That's what I'm saying.
You monster.
When there's crap
How
songs
dare
and no
you.
story, or awful. I like West Side Story. I like Oliver. Oliver's on
Did you
like
see
every
the
Christmas.
new West Side Story? Because that's up for a couple of Oscars, and I didn't even know that had released.
I knew it was out. I knew it would come out. I haven't seen it. I will probably, if I do watch it, it'll be on TV. I wouldn't go to the cinema. Well, I haven't gone to cinemas for ages, actually. What's the last film I saw? I have
Are you
no
gonna come
idea
see
what I last
Batman
saw at the
with
cinema.
me?
Well, you're going to go like 20 times, so probably.
Fuck yeah, I am.
I'd like to. It only comes down to the timing. But yeah, particularly if you're left hanging out without a friend on a weekend, and I've got a weekend off, then yes, definitely.
Hurrah!
I finally saw the trailer to that.
Which
That was
one?
quite good. I don't know, the one that was at the cinema for Uncharted.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that'll be
Again,
the most ads.
I'm deliberately not watching any more trailers. I saw the first however many, 2 or 3 or whatever.
I'm trying not to, and then one of my comic sites says there's a new trailer. I'm like, get on YouTube immediately! Oh my god! My T-shirt with the movie's logo arrived yesterday. I love it. I'm so excited.
So will you be wearing that on the day?
Yeah, of course I will.
Okay.
I've actually bought. There's a prequel book, right, that popped up on Amazon. I won't read it till I've watched the film. That I can't imagine is much to do with the film, but like this is a really bad sign. There's no author attached to it. It does, like, on the front of the book, on the Amazon listing, it doesn't name a writer. It just names the publishing house. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so shit. But, I mean, I've probably read shitter for worse reasons. I'm crazy excited.
There was a Batman musical, wasn't there?
There was. Well,
I thought
no,
so.
there wasn't. There are... They wanted to make there was a Spider-Man musical. They wanted to make a Batman musical, and I've got Jim Steinman made a load of spec songs that got leaked on the internet that I've got. There was a Batman, a really weird kind of camp Batman stage show in the early 2010s that was supposed to go worldwide, and I think it just played in Manchester and then London a few days. So I saw it in London. And then quietly disappeared. But that was fucking weird. That was like trying to tie modern Batman with 60s Batman with the inherent campness of musical theatre without it actually having songs. Like Mark constantly took the piss out of it, just nudging me saying, I think this is a bit where Robin's going to sing. And I'm like, shush, I'm trying to watch this. I'm trying to enjoy this. God knows they're making it hard, but I'm trying. But, yeah, that was the closest we've got to a properly released Batman musical, to my knowledge. And my knowledge is pretty good on the subject. I've still got the book up on my bookshelf, like the program for a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's called Batman Live, something like that. And a bag from the venue as well. So you never
Worth
know,
going
these
then,
things
just
are
for that.
keepsakes. You're never going to get. That's never going to be released again.
So, Shaun, what have you been watching?
Yeah, sorry, Jay. This has been very rambly this time. I like it. But Jason, were you done about what you've been watching?
I'm fully rambled, yes.
Cool. Mine'll be relatively quick, but I will start with one that I think Adam would like. I went to see the new version of Death on the Nile.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a absolutely fantastic cast, and that's a little on the side. If that's a little on the Ocean's Levely side of like, no, everyone in it is a great actor, or certainly has the ability and the charisma to pull off what they're doing. But a lot of it is still kind of winky at the camera, going, "Oh, we're doing the." There's a lot of ham. Let's just say there's a lot of hamming it up. Because they're doing the Agatha Christie thing, it's been done 300 million times. They give an origin for his moustache, which is
did they?
I've been waiting for that.
awesome.
I needed to know that.
Yeah, well, go watch this movie. But yeah, for what it was, I had a thoroughly great time. I mean, it's it never fails to amaze me how utterly stunning Gal Gadot's smile is. Like, she is a stunning woman. And she, like, a lot of the film is anchored on her, and she does a wonderful job of... so it's almost a film of two halves. There's almost like the bit where they're all winking at the camera and the setup, and then she gets one teeny tiny little scene with a couple of lines, and she turns the whole movie on her head with an excellent little piece of acting. But yeah, that was super fun. Adam, I think you'd probably quite enjoy that.
I wanted to watch that.
Yeah, well worth it. Like, if you liked the last one Branagh did, it's I think it's a bit less dark, but it's still well worth having, well worth watching. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Nice.
I wrote down Book of Fett, so I don't need to cover that. I think we've well and truly done that. Peacemaker finished, so I watched the rest of that. I think people are over-egging exactly... it's got tons and tons of critical praise, and I do think it's better than a lot of the superhero stuff out there. I don't really mesh quite so well with James Gunn's more kind of childish side. Like, I never saw the villains as a threat, and he throws in this like weird little moral quandary at the end, which is so simplistic and underserved. I was kind of like a little taken out of it. Like, why would you put that in? It's like, yeah. But the actual main, the main cast, including, what's the dude's that? Robert Patrick. Oh, he is the best thing in it. And he's not in it a lot, but what he does is incredible. He is very, very funny. I don't know why they didn't just do him as the, him as one of the threats, him as the main threat, maybe. But Cena showed what we all knew. He is actually a very, very good actor. He can do a great layered performance. Despite what you may think of him as just the wrestling guy, he's actually very, very talented. His story arc has fantastic depth and a really great arc, and it's the way it ends is the way it leaves the character at the end is greatly changed from the start of the series, but still perhaps the best way to do it is almost like having a character who desperately wants to, a character who comes to understand that he needs to change and comes to understand that he should change, but he doesn't know how. And that's a really interesting character to follow, because you're never quite sure what he's going to do. You know it's a superhero-y thing, so you know he's going to do superhero-y things. He's going to fight the bad guy and stuff, but because of the way they set him up as a character, you're not quite sure how he's going to go about that, or if he's going about it in the right way or for the right reasons and stuff like that. And it makes him a lot more complex than most characters in the genre. I mean, it's what Loki could have been, but they just decided to make him make Loki have a boner for another version of himself, which is equally fantastic. But yeah, if you're, I really think the threat lets it down to the point that it's a bit hard to care about the main thing. But outside of that, I think it's a great show, and I'm very, very excited for season 2. James Gunn has now said he wants to, because of it, like he did Peacemaker for fun, because the world was kind of on hold and stuff like that. But he's now said that when he's made Thor Love and Thunder, he's going to go do more TV projects for a year or two, which is really cool because I want to see more from what he's got to say. I'm guessing neither of you guys have seen that. I use my HBO Max pass for it.
I
don't
have
know if
not
it's
seen
out
it.
anywhere in the UK yet.
No, I haven't really looked into it other than I saw some trailers and I was fairly sure it's not on any channel that I currently have. I wasn't going to go out of my way to look at it. I will watch it one day, which is why I've deliberately not watched anything about it.
Yeah, it is super fun. It's
Good.
yeah, Vigilante is incredible. It's just complete nutbag. But the thing that you can watch and you should go watch that I've been enjoying over the last week is Way of the House Husband, which is on Netflix. It is an anime, and it is one of the strangest things I've seen in a while, and it's delightful. So basically, the premise is you've got this guy called the Immortal Dragon, who is one of the most feared and respected Yakuza in all of Japan, right?
Ah.
This takes place sometime after that, where he's quit because he fell in love and she's got a career, so he stays at home and tends the house. And it's entirely made up of like 3-minute skits of doing a household chore, for example, but as though it is a super intense Yakuza battle. It is absolutely bizarre and delightful. It's one of the most intense things I've ever watched, and it's quite often about him chopping up a zucchini or something. He'll very often come across other like old enemies and stuff like there's this one where he took down a guy who was a similar level with him. They were both some of the most feared assassins in all of, feared mob bosses all of Japan, and he took this other guy down and he went to prison, and it starts with this guy getting out, and it looks like he's stalking your main character, but actually he's running a crepes van because when he got out, the Immortal Dragon had murdered all of his entire gang before he and it's like it gets into this intense standoff and they both pull knives on each other, and then they really quickly make a dessert an incredibly intense dessert at each other, and then put it on Instagram, and their war is between who gets the most likes, and neither of them gets many, if any, likes. It's really, really odd, but incredibly funny and incredibly charming, and it's just so wonderful to see something done with like maximum intensity and this ridiculous. It's kind of it's very stylistic in that it's made to look like a manga, so not a lot of things move. It's not like traditional animation. You'll mostly have like a completely static shot, and maybe one character will walk, or maybe just their mouths will move while the camera kind of slowly moves around a little bit, like the border kind of edges in and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all done in this immensely intense way that is absolutely hilarious, and all the characters are incredibly likable and charming. And sometimes at the end of an episode there's just a 3-minute skit of the cat out for a walk in the neighborhood and getting into adorable scrapes and misadventures. So yeah, Way of the House Husband, I would highly, highly, highly recommend everyone go watch that, because it's just fantastic. It's still a 15, so it's still got like the occasional. There's no violence or anything, but there's sometimes like a still of something incredibly graphic and horrible. It's very odd. Oh, there's also lots of casual swearing in it, because that's how you helps ramp up the intensity. It's such a strange little thing. But yeah, that's on Netflix. That's delightful.
Awesome. Cool.
I couldn't think of anything. I'm sure I've been watching. I'm sure I was watching something that I was really into recently, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I'm now watching Blade Runner Black Lotus, and that's okay, but I'm sure there's something else I really wanted to talk about, but it's gone. It's gone. Might talk about it next month. It may be gone forever. Who knows? Next month, I'm probably only going to talk about Batman. It's going to be like, oh, hey, here's the games of gods. I don't fucking care. Batman came out. It's awesome. 3 hours of joy. So has
we need a
anyone
word,
else?
don't we?
No, I was going to say, has anyone been up to anything else of note?
No!
Well, I have. At the start of February, I went to my first live band in about a year and a half, and it was absolutely incredible. I had missed it so very, very much. I went to see my favourite band, Paradise Lost. They played in Colchester. I went out on a Sunday evening. Very, very late. I know.
School night.
But, man, I needed that so much more than I thought I did. It was great to just be in a room. Like, I still had to be masked on and that. But it was great to be in a room full of people screaming at the top of my lungs at my favourite band and just having a wonderful collective experience. Because, like, with the exception of about 2 or 3 occasions, I've not really been around a lot of people for a very long time. Like, even when I go to the pub, I've been to the pub like 2 or 3 times in the last year and a half. And it's been a case of, well, we'll go to this quiet pub, no one's in, and there'll be 5, 6 of us. You know, so this really, this was a really, really great thing for me, and I'm really, really glad I did it. I've got another one at the end of next month. Are we in March yet? I've got another one at the end of March. Going to see White Lies, who I'm a big fan of and haven't seen live since their first album. So yeah, really looking forward to that now. And just on Thursday of this week, which should be the 24th, I completed my Land's End to John O'Groats virtual run challenge, which is in under a year. I have ran 1,084 miles, which is
well done.
insane. And I'm, quite frankly, kind of glad it's over, because I've been outrunning 7 miles 3 or 4 days a week for the better part of a year, excluding a couple of little times off for injuries. And it'll be nice to have more of my evenings back to play more video games and stuff, because I'm not going to go out running a ridiculous distance, then drive home, then have a shower, and by that point it's about 8 o'clock, then got to cook dinner, then it's, you know, only a couple hours before bed. So it's going to be very nice to have more of my evenings back.
Now, how's that measured? Is that on like a step counter or something?
No, basically I've got this other app called Strava, which uses your location. So it calculates, it keeps track of you as you run, you start and you stop at the end of the run. So it like gives you a load of stats of how fast you went and this, that and the other, you know, miles per minute, speed and all this kind of cool stuff. And it just transposes that into the other app.
Nice.
Does an overall total.
You can't cheat then. Like, just
You can
put it on a
cheat, but
rumble
what would be
pack
the point? Yeah, you just
to get your reward.
put
Hey,
it
look,
on
I
and
did
drive
this.
slowly
Tell
around in
everyone,
your
I did
car.
this.
Plenty of ways for you to cheat on Strava, but that's kind of
It's a lot of
defeats
money
the
on
object.
petrol though.
just attach it to your cat and just let
Yeah.
your cat run around.
Absolutely, and this was all my. This wasn't. This isn't a case of like a lot of people use step counters, so they're like, okay, so I did 400 steps. Well, 400 steps isn't a lot. So I did 5,000 steps. This was only. I only turned on Strava when I was doing extra exercise. So if I was going out for an evening, it'd be that. It wasn't taking my daily to's and fro's into account or any bollocks like that. This was just actual special time set aside out to go for a big run.
Okay.
And I'm well proud of myself. That's quite an
Yeah,
achievement.
it should be.
Even if
Well done.
it is entirely pointless. But I do get a medal.
Ooh. Of
I
chocolate.
love a medal.
Oh.
It's not. It better not be chocolate. Actually,
Oh,
after all that running, I could do with some chocolate. I might go to Marimba tomorrow. Have you seen those? They like have these chocolate discs, and
It's a coin.
No, they're much bigger and they're much thicker, but they're absolutely delicious, and there's like 6 of them in there for about £3.50.
No,
I've got a
not
chocolate pizza
been
that's
in there.
round.
Oh, I've had one of those. They're nice.
That sounds terrible, but also
It sounds
delicious, and I
terrible,
kind
but
of-
also, as long as you just don't think what a pizza is, it's basically a big cookie.
Yeah, basically. The
Uh,
Gourmet Chocolate Pizza Company. I'm looking at it right now.
well, congratulations on your big effort, Shaun. I'm very proud of you. Could you now do the cat version, though? Could you now attach it to the cat? Just to see where your cat goes. Just to see what it might do quicker than you. You never know. Oh, no, it's just gone next door every day to get their food. I'd like to know where your
Find
cat
it goes
goes.
on a 10-mile walk every day and just comes back.
8 other people think they own this cat.
Speaking of just weird little outside projects, I'm doing a build, and I'm going to record it all because I'm making something ridiculous that will eventually go up on the channel. Essentially, it's part of my plan for the Lego Batman 3 video. If that ever, I'm assuming sooner or later that's going to go up. So yeah, when that happens, I'm going to have build videos of the ridiculous thing I'm doing as well. So that I'm starting that tomorrow, actually. I went and bought a load of materials yesterday.
I'm intrigued. I'm not going to guess because I don't want to ruin it if I do guess right, but good. Glad to hear it.
And I'll have more time for nonsense projects like that now that I don't have to spend half my evenings running for like an hour and a half.
You've earned it. So what's the word?
I think it should be never yield.
Ah.
And then
Not in Fernax.
and then the fake word then can be yield.
All right, I see what you're doing there.
So yes, the word is never yield.
Leave that in the comments. We'll know you've heard it this far.
But if you put yield, we will also know you've heard this far, but we'll know you've not been paying attention. And that's the important thing.
Or they've been paying lots of attention and just don't care. It's like, middle finger up to you, sir. We don't play by your rules. I'm a maverick, I am.
Right, I want to get back to playing Infernax. So, any other business, gentlemen?
Nope, I'm done.
There's no business like show business. I'm going to watch Boba Fett the musical or something. That sounds good. Bye!
See ya.